I'm Dwayne Pullman. They look and sound like relics of the past. But these chambers are offering a brighter future for America's veterans, Hall of Fame athletes, and countless others suffering from brain injuries.
You went through hell.
Yes, sir.
For retired Marine Sergeant Major Simon LeMay, hell arrived in 2009 and 2010 in Iraq and Afghanistan. Improvised explosive devices, or IEDs, claimed his best friend and maimed another.
Stepped on a pressure plate and lost both of his legs.
LeMay survived, but the explosions left him with invisible wounds of war.
I've had multiple IED exposures that have led to traumatic brain injury.
He returned home, disoriented and numb, struggling to simply speak. Military doctors treated his symptoms, but they could not heal his brain. LeMay descended into deep depression.
And one day I decided that I'd had enough, and I took a 9mm that I owned and I crawled underneath the bed skirt under the bed to try and end my life.
What stopped you?
My wife.
And I was losing it all because of the brain injury.
Retired Brigadier General Pat Maney was in this SUV that was sent airborne by an IED that exploded in Afghanistan in 2005. He too survived, but his traumatic brain injury made it difficult to walk, talk, and think.
I could read words, but I couldn't process what they meant.
General Maney was treated at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center for 15 months, but there was little improvement.
Their advice was tincture of time. Just be patient.
Running out of time and patience, family and friends convinced both Maney and LeMay to try hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or HBOT.
I had no idea what it was.
HBOT places patients inside hyperbaric chambers, delivering 100% oxygen under pressure, pushing it into the lungs, which carry it to damaged parts of the body, including the brain. Sections of this dormant and damaged brain, shown in blue, light up with green from new activity after HBOT. 40 Department of Defense studies over the past decade reveal significant improvement for combat vets suffering from traumatic brain injuries. According to TreatNow.org, a group that advocates for hyperbaric oxygen therapy, of the more than 4,000 combat vets with brain injuries who received HBOT, 8 out of 10 of them are showing significant improvement. Yet the Department of Defense and Veterans Administration, which continue to evaluate HBOT, have yet to approve it for treating more than 1 million veterans suffering from brain injuries. When I asked the VA why HBOT isn't used more, a spokesperson wrote, "There is insufficient medical evidence to recommend HBOT as a treatment for traumatic brain injury."
What we're all taught in medical school, there's nothing you can do for brain injury.
Dr. Paul Harch, the director of hyperbaric medicine at LSU in New Orleans and founder of HBOT.com, says the medical establishment has long resisted HBOT, even though there's plenty of evidence proving it can work.
And we can treat brain injury. And look, here's the evidence.
And warriors on the battlefield aren't the only ones trying to treat brain injuries.
How many concussions do you think you had?
Oh, more than you have fingers and toes.
Legendary Hall of Fame linebacker Dave Robinson led the Green Bay Packers to victory in Super Bowls I and II. Now he blames concussions on the field for causing decades of sleeplessness, agitation, and a murky memory.
I can talk to you and everything we said, tomorrow I forget most of it. I don't want to get to that point where I don't recognize my friends and don't know where I am.
Who's had a concussion? Show me.
Robinson and other football greats are on the board of directors for the Pro Football Retired Players Association, and they all admit they suffer from the effects of concussions.
Who worries about the long-lasting effects of all those concussions that you've received, even if it's just one? Are you worried?
Yeah.
Late last year, the retired players voted to try HBOT themselves. Not surprisingly, 80-year-old Dave Robinson is leading the way, receiving 60 HBOT treatments so far.
You feel better.
Yes.
More memory coming back.
For a man who's already enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Robinson says he's not through battling, only now he's replacing the pain on the field with a push to heal.
Is HBOT going to be part of your legacy now too?
I hope it is. I hope when I'm 100, I still have my memory, and still have my faculties can still move around, and I can tell people I owe it all to HBOTs.
After 120 HBOT treatments, now retired General Maney returned to the bench as Judge Maney. He says he has his life back.
I'm a survivor thanks to hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
And retired Sergeant Major LeMay, who received HBOT 2, says his despair has disappeared, replaced by plans for a future.
To feel like I want to be here, to have a future. You know, hope is set in our future, and that's what it's about.